Hello Internet, I'm happy to be back in the best form of my life, feeling good and ready to share with you everything that I have learned so far. In this video I'll talk about the two most important things for me when we want to lose weight or build muscles, which is the sleep and the food we choose during the day. In the video I will also share with you what I buy and eat to reach my goals. So without further ado, let's do this. Just quickly before I start, when I was a teenager I was fit but actually small. I decided to enter the gym where I started building muscles and gaining more confidence. At some point I reached 90 kilos and 3 years ago I dropped to 73 kilos when I shared to everyone my transformation. Now I'm at 76 kilos and I'm maintaining this body level. My number one tip before we start doing anything is to make sure we have enough sleep during the night. As adults, we all need around 8 hours to sleep. This is enough time for our body to recover. Actually, we don't understand that during the night we build muscles. Without enough sleep, our brain cannot function properly. This reflects negatively to our main hormones when we want to lose weight or gain muscles, which are ghrelin and leptin. Those hormones impact directly our hunger and appetite. Leptin is the hormone that decreases our appetite and ghrelin is the one that increases it. That's why when we don't get enough sleep, during the day we have more appetite and we tend to overeat. There is one very interesting study published in 2018 where subjects were divided into two groups. For 2 months, one group cut calories and was able to sleep regularly, so enough 8-hour sleep, and the second group was cutting the same amount of calories, but they were put on a sleep schedule. They had to sleep 5 days with 1 hour reduced sleep, and in the other 2 nights they could sleep whatever amount of hours they want. Both groups ended up losing about the same amount of calories, but the group that slept better actually ended up losing a better proportion of fat mass. For muscle building, there is also one very interesting experiment done in 2018 where two groups were split into a group that slept 5.5 hours per night and the other group was sleeping 8.5 hours per night. Both groups were put into the same caloric deficit, and after 2 weeks the group that slept less lost 55% less fat and lost 60% more muscle compared to the group who slept better. There are also studies indicating that sleeping less impacts negatively our testosterone hormone level, which has a direct impact to muscle and bone mass building. The second most important tip from myself is to get yourself informed about calories. The best way to do that is by downloading an application like MyFitnessPal or any other free software that can show you how much calories there are into a certain food. Why I recommend you do this is because 3 years ago, when I reduced 10 kilos from my body, I showed you my transformation. It was great, but together with the fat percentage, I also lost some muscle mass, which I could preserve if I had the right knowledge. Knowing your calories during the day can stop you from overeating or potentially from eating less than you should if you want to build muscles. I really don't ask you to put everything on a scale and then eat it, just to have a rough idea how much calories there are and how many macronutrients there are into a certain food, so that you can make a wiser decision whether to order that food, whether to buy it or substitute it with another one. But in order to understand more about the food, let us go to the kitchen so that I can show you what I mean. Okay, I'll start first with the phrase that it's easier to avoid calories than to burn them afterwards. So the most important thing in the kitchen is to have the healthy and the right food available within your fridge. If you eat or drink more than your body needs, you're going to put on weight because the additional energy the body is not going to use is going to be stored as fat. I would make a separate detailed video about food, but for this one let's use an example for a man like me on 2500 calories. My profile in MyFitnessPal is open to everybody, so you can see my food and drinks during the day, so I will put a link into the description of this video. In general, in the morning I eat around 800 calories with cereal, yogurt and fruits. After that, at lunchtime, I reach around 1000 calories with fish, steak and some carbs. And in the night I have around 700 calories. So bearing in mind that I have 2500 calories to maintain my body, if I decide one day to eat the chips, this is 150 grams of chips, and the calories are 800 calories. So 800 calories are almost a full breakfast or full dinner for myself. And if I decide to eat the chocolate as a dessert, this is 200 grams of chocolate. I really like it, I eat it a lot, but it's 1200 calories. So you can imagine how much I'm going to add with these two guys. Another issue is that we tend to drink our calories, not eat them, but drink them. And here is one good example with the favorite apple juice that I bought a lot in the past. This apple juice, which has no additional sugar within it, but if I drink one glass of it, which is around 250 milliliters, I'm going to add 122 calories to my daily calories, and I normally would drink 2 glasses of it, so approximately of 240 calories during the day. This is equal to 1 mozzarella, which is high in protein, and I can reach my protein levels with it. Or I can eat 4 of these eggs, small eggs, or I can have 1 protein bar instead. So it's better to satisfy your hunger rather than satisfy your thirst with the liquid. I drink 2 coffees a day, and sometimes I drink protein shakes, and I really like to drink them with milk. So let's see what options do we have there. Here are the 3 examples of Pavel drinking coffee with 200 milliliters of milk 2 times a day without sugar. The first one drinks it with 3% fat milk, which is around 55 calories per 100 milliliters. He drinks 2 times coffees with a total of 400 milliliters, which is equal to 220 calories per day. The second Pavel drinks it with 0.1% fat milk, which is equal to 34 calories per 100 milliliters. This is equal to 136 calories for 2 coffees per day. And the third one drinks it with pistachio or almond milk, which is 32 calories per 100 milliliters, which is equal to 128 calories for 2 coffees. In 7 days, the first Pavel had in total of 1540 calories, the second one had in total 952 calories, and the third one had 896 calories. If Pavel was drinking his coffee with the pistachio drink instead of the 3% fat milk, at the end of the week he could have 644 calories in advance, which is about 1 extra healthy breakfast only by choosing 1 different liquid. Let me go to the next important decision, how to choose your meat. I'll share with you my priorities based on the calories and the healthy fatty acids. First, I always try to eat 1 or 2 times fish, any sort of fish. Mostly I try to buy salmon. Then second on the list is red meat, so I try to eat beef as much as I can after fish. Third on the list is chicken breasts, because they are lowest in calories. And third, if I don't have any other option, I would pick the pork meat, because it tastes good. But let me share more about each of these meats. In this picture you will see detailed information for each of the 4 meats. Please stop the video or make a screenshot and save it. The important thing to know here is that only the fish has the unsaturated omega-3 fatty acids that benefit our heart. They also help us reduce the fat in our liver and lower our blood pressure. The other important thing is to know that the amount of saturated fats are the most harmful to those watching their cholesterol levels, or who already might be experiencing high cholesterol levels. So for them, less saturated fats is better. Here are my other protein sources, which I always try to keep within the fridge. Here is turkey fillet, beef jerky, dry pork, prawns, mozzarella, canned green peas, any sort of beans, white, red, and of course chickpeas. My last advice is to try to reduce the consumption of nuts, because a handful of nuts, 15 grams of nuts, is around 100 calories, and most of the time we're eating more than that. The other thing is that if you are hungry, if you feel that you are hungry, drink water first, because 5% dehydration correlates to 20% decrease of energy. So you might be thinking that you are hungry, but instead you have been dehydrated. These are the two most important tips for myself when we want to lose weight or build muscles. In the next video I'll talk about protein, when to eat, when to organize our workouts, how exactly muscles are built, and any other important information that we should know about weight loss and muscle building. If you find this video helpful, please share it with your friends and consider subscribing to the channel. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.